We will now jump at another working group, number 4, which was focused on collaborative planning and mediation, shared communities, housing and consensus. The working group will be President Maria Faraone. She has extensive experience internationally in the UK of the urban design and architectural projects. Her particular urban design research interests lie in human settlements and integrated residential planning for marginalized community. She works on the settlement project in West Africa, on the Canadian reserves, and also her research was with the Romani groups in UK. So now we can continue with the outcomes of the working group. It's your floor.
Thank you. This was actually a kind of follow-up on the original housing workshop on conflict. So we sort of set the scene to what a lot of the issues are, and then create ideals on how to deal with them. And then the very difficult thing is actually putting them into practice. How do the ideals towards collaborative planning, how do they hit the ground? And when they hit the ground, you get a lot of problems coming up, because ideals are great ideas that come together, very thoughtful people bringing ideas that come from a cumulative experience and knowledge. And when it hits the ground, you can see the contextual differences come out. One great point that was brought up by Peter Ramirez was, what is the definition of integration, assimilation? And then following that up, what is the definition of home? And even more so, what is the definition of success? And these 4 terms and understanding what they mean in different contexts helps us to set the scene and to decide what the next steps are. In our workshop, we looked at what's happening in the UK and the issues behind having a highly visible and distinct type of home in a caravan, and the very specific issues that come from that. And then we looked at some of the cases in Milan. And Professor Antonio Tosi talked to us very well about the problems and also the key principles of participation based on dignity and about collaboration in terms of social partnership, and also very importantly having mixed tenure options, so that Roma who are wanting to be in housing have options just like everyone else has options, and where the options would be the same, the support networks to get there would vary. And then we looked at the working relationships with the Slovak government. Marek Horček presented that to us. And again, we see the recontextualizing of what it means to have a successful housing project. Does it mean that people then move into those houses, or is it based on the cost and the funds accumulated for those projects? How do you measure an increased quality of life that's been influenced by an improved housing condition? And then we looked specifically at a Chanov village, the Chanov ghetto, that was presented by Bronislav Podhala, and we used that as a workshop example. So we divided into groups and we tried to apply the principles from the successes and the failures, and also our individual definitions, varied definitions of home and of success. And ultimately, what it comes down to is the extremely valuable and important local knowledge. So it's not only local knowledge, but also how you're accessing it and how you're creating as balanced a context as possible for people to be able to deliver their version of local knowledge. And that's how you start to get to dignity of home. And dignity of home is the foundation for all other access to life provisions and quality of life. So from those reinvented basic principles, we can see both the difficulties and the step forward into the transferability of collaborative planning.